समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Much is being written and said about why Arvind Kejriwal and his Aam Aadmi Party suffered such a crushing defeat. You've seen a lot of wisdom about it, such as lack of a news story and fatigued politics, attrition from central agencies, assault and lawfare, unidimensional giveaway proposition, lack of leadership depth, also central government not letting him function, and so on and so forth. Most of this is correct. In fact, if you read and watch all that my colleagues, our team led by our political editor D.K. Singh has been doing through the day, you will see all of it there in great detail and depth. We are, or I am therefore, moving forward and exploring the larger political consequences of what is quite certainly among the most significant turns in national politics of the past decade, and it is not just confined to Delhi, the state. The most important outcome is that the era of ideology-free politics is now over. For almost 15 years, Kejriwal built a politics without any ideological pillar or foundation, and it was deliberate. His was an insurgent party that grew from street protests and urban middle-class anger. It is the closest India has seen to a color revolution, and at the time of the Anna Hazare movement, when the movement was raging, the comparison with Tahrir Square was freely and often made. Check out newspaper op-ed and TV channel debate archives. Whenever I say TV channel debate, I always do this. TV channel debate archives. Through the Anna movement, Kejriwal, his volunteers, the India Against Corruption, leadership of Magsaysay Award winners, two men in saffron, Swami Agnivesh and Baba Ramdev, a judge and two top lawyers, judge as in Justice Hegde, two top lawyers, that is Prashant Bhushan and Shanti Bhushan. They all worked in close conjunction with the RSS front organizations. India Against Corruption and the Anna movement worked in close conjunction with the RSS front organizations and indirectly the BJP. Some of the most prominent voices heard on TV discussions calling the UPAs the most corrupt government ever, and how enough was enough were BJP linked. Those that were not obviously in the party then later joined it. Much intellectual fuel came from New Delhi's Chanakyapuri based Vivekanand Foundation, for all practical purposes a BJP RSS think tank and a formidable one. For evidence, check out how many really smart people active there immediately joined the first Modi government. These included National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and the first and then long-serving Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Nripendra Mishra. Later, he was put in charge of the project to build the Ram Temple. Despite the pretense of being apolitical and not seeking power, Kejriwal had exactly the same ambition. That's why his ideological choices were limited. Either he could go with the BJP or strike out on his own. Because if he struck out on his own, then the support that the Anna movement had from the BJP/RSS, that would then go. We aren't even sure if he wanted to join the BJP. Suppose he did, theoretically. He never showed any inclination. So I'm not insinuating anything because it would be factually incorrect. We are not even, suppose he had wanted hypothetically to join the BJP, we aren't even sure the BJP needed him. Or if he'd be satisfied with being just a middling leader there, a cog in the wheel. His popularity was then at its peak at a very young age. And he was dreaming big. He could be Prime Minister by 2019. Those close to him say he imagined. Distancing himself from Anna Hazare was easy. He was in any case a nobody. and a ridiculous wannabe. I'm talking of Anna Hazare, a ridiculous wannabe Mahatma Gandhi. He was used and thrown with no risk nonchalance. The political plunge was taken with the formation of the Aam Aadmi Party, AAP, which initially had prominent faces from what could safely be described as the ideological left, Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan among them. Kejriwal wasn't going to go with the BJP. His ambition and audacity took him to challenge Narendra Modi directly in Varanasi in the Lok Sabha election in 2014. I had then thought and written in a piece under my series Writings on the Wall, of which I am sharing a link with you, that we were seeing the rise of a national leader after a very long time, and for the first time from a non-Congress, non-BJP catchment area. In 2013 Delhi Assembly elections, his party did not become number one, but it got enough seats to reduce the Congress party to just 8 in a house of 70 and kept the BJP short of a majority. That's how he could form a government with outside support of the Congress party and run a rebellious, riotous 49-day government. We met him during his Varanasi campaign, and even then I wrote in these Writings on the Wall, and you will see some paras on your screen, I wrote in these Writings on the Wall that his message was muddled. I quote from that May 2014 piece with Kejriwal saying, and I quote, "Why am I in Varanasi when I could easily become an MP from Delhi? I have come to defeat Modi, save India from this monster." Good question. I had then asked, but why is Modi such a monster? Is he communal? A threat to secularism? We didn't hear any of that from Kejriwal. In fact, he said things like, if Modi is such a bhakt of Ganga Maiya, how come he's going back without visiting the Ganga? He also said that he went to Kashi Vishwanath temple wearing a Rudraksh and BJP people threw eggs at him. And he says, see, what is BJP's commitment to Hinduism if they are throwing eggs to desecrate my Rudraksh mala? Now, that obviously was not a secular positioning. That was a positioning as if he was showing himself to be even more Hindu than the BJP. Again, he went on to say, and I quote, he is a deadly threat because he is in the pocket of Ambani and Adani, even in 2014. And I have the documents to prove that, he said. He then pulled out one sheaf of papers after another, rather in the fashion of a pamphleteer in Fox Fury than a young, new, liberal crusader. He's blowing it. I had written in that article, which as I said I've shared with you, he could have made an arguable case by seeking vote against Modi to save secularism. But help me defeat Modi to save you from Ambani and Adani. Tell me another. I had written. So, okay, I apologize for self-referencing and end it here. In the 2013 Delhi Assembly polls, his party is still short of a majority, and he had no qualms taking outside support from the Congress, which he had just defeated after devastating it in a 3-year anti-corruption campaign. Cynicism, pragmatism, sharp politics. You can call it what you wish. The fact is, he was carrying no burden of principle, philosophy or ideology. A true Indian politician, you might say. But Indian politicians also, however cynical, immoral or frankly hypocritical they may be, still need some emotional fuel. It can be an ideology, nationalism, an identity group as in caste, religion, ethnicity, language. Kejriwal had none. His politics was one track or monochromatic. We stand against corruption and all others are thieves. Some मिले हुए हैं. They are all complicit. And we've come to change the system. हम व्यवस्था बदलने आए हैं. He ducked the ideological question. He had plonked himself in the opposition to both the BJP and the Congress, hoping to be the new national hope. However, his idea of changing the system, vyavastha, was also undefined. We've seen some of that work in democracies lately. Javier Milei literally campaigning with a chainsaw, promising to cut Argentina's government and bureaucracy into half, which he has done. Or Donald Trump bringing the bulldozer with Elon Musk as its driver to what he sees as the deep state. Kejriwal had no such idea. Jan Lokpal Bill, which promised to send every other politician to jail, wasn't one such. He couldn't be more Hindu than the BJP's Hindutva. And a left-center positioning would put him in the same space as the Congress party. So what did he stand for? That is the question he deftly avoided answering, using portraits of Ambedkar and Bhagat Singh in his party and government offices. This was too clever by half. This is one of the key reasons behind his comeuppance now. Through these years, he has played with both sides of the ideological spectrum. His anti-elitism took him closer to the left, but then he purged all his comrades of the same bent, probably because they were not supplicant enough, or they were too smart, or they were building significant profiles of their own. Then, reciting Hanuman Chalisa in a TV interview, building a temporary Ram Mandir in Delhi, Atishi comparing his jailing to Lord Ram's Vanvas and claiming that she was only filling in for him as Bharat did at Ayodhya during older brother Ram's exile. You can do all of this and more, but as Rahul Gandhi also realized after multiple temple visits and talk of his Janeu, high Brahmin, Gotra or Shiv Bhakti, you cannot out Hindutva the original in the BJP and Narendra Modi. Kejriwal's first 49-day tenure was marked by much drama and headline hunting, including the Jantar Mantar protest, where he and his comrades slept in the open at the peak of winter, wrapped in quilts brought from home. He pulled the curtain by equally dramatically resigning, protesting that the Jan Lokpal bill wasn't passed. This impressed the people of Delhi sufficiently to give him a landslide in the assembly elections that followed. In 2015 and 2020, he swept Delhi despite the fact that Modi was at the peak of his popularity. Another 5 years, we come to 2025 and figured out that the half-life of the ideology-free politics is now over. The fact is, he did become an alternative, but as an unfocused, cynical politician. On some key BJP issues such as Article 370, Ram Mandir, Rohingya and Bangladeshi immigrants, he was on the same side as the BJP. Then he would go with the Congress when it suited him, as in Lok Sabha elections, and opposing it most of the time. The fundamental contradiction in his politics is that while he needs to be with the India bloc, where the Congress forms the core, the only political turf he seeks to win is from the Congress party. In Delhi, he vacuum cleaned the Congress vote. Then he entered Gujarat, Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab. He wanted the AAP to be the new Congress. In Punjab, he succeeded, but he wanted AAP to be the new Congress. And then, as the 2024 Lok Sabha polls ended, he was back at Congress party's throat in Haryana. The Congress has now paid back in Delhi in 13 seats, as this analysis by Saurabh Roy Burman of ThePrint shows. The Congress has got more votes than the AAP's margin of defeat. These include AAP stalwarts Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, Somnath Bharti, Saurabh Bhardwaj and Durgesh Pathak. Vote transfer isn't a simple fact of arithmetic, so we have to be careful. But a reasonably generous alliance with the Congress could have won the AAP another 10 seats and Congress maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Similarly, if he had stayed out in Haryana and actually gone and campaigned for the Congress party, because somebody from the India bloc's point of view, somebody had to defeat the BJP, and if you have a batter as strong as the BJP, you have to put your best bowler, the bowler most likely to dismiss that batter in front. So if he had stayed out of Haryana and in fact gone and campaigned for the Congress party, might have just made the BJP's task much tougher, because the margin between the Congress and the BJP was very small. The vote margin was wafer thin. This is the contradiction in his politics we had mentioned earlier. The BJP is out to destroy him, and yet he thinks he can only expand at the cost of the Congress. The hard fact is that he needs the Congress as an ally instead. This is also what makes the AAP a particularly conflicted constituent of India. India as in the bloc, INDIA. Kejriwal and AAP are devastated now, but not finished. They still have a big state in Punjab, the municipal corporation in Delhi, and 43% of the vote even in defeat in Delhi. Kejriwal has resurrected himself from several crises earlier. This, however, is his gravest, especially because the BJP wants to finish him. We had said earlier in a national interest, the BJP sees him as a threat for the day after tomorrow, and like all superpowers, They fight their day after tomorrow's battles today. So they want to finish him. They will try to break his MLAs and corporators in Delhi and the government in Punjab. He has the political smarts. Kejriwal has the political smarts and courage to fight back. His party workers may still believe in him. Can he keep his politics alive and also fight on two fronts, BJP in the Congress, without stating with any clarity what he believes in on the main polarizing issues in national politics? That is the question this defeat has left him confronting.